Good morning. Everybody do me a favor and to check in this morning, type in box, but tell me something good. Tell me something positive, whether it's something that you read, something that happened, say something positive, and that's how we'll do a quick check-in to make sure I mark down everybody that's doing what they're supposed to be doing and that I don't have to text any of you and make you rewatch this. Okay, so as you saw from, this is Moose, by the way. You're not part of this. You have to go away. I'm sorry. You have to go away. What was I saying? Oh, as you saw last week, I didn't give you a period 9 test. And that was because I'm able to look at your notes now. And I felt like with me being able to see your notes, and if you filled out the review materials in enough detail, yeah, Moose is very cute, but he's a baby and he acts like it. But you saw, or I saw in your review materials, whether it be like your theme review or your theme chart and everything in your AP classroom assignments, that you, if you filled it out enough, then I think that's good enough. As I'm looking through those this week, if I'm seeing that you need to add a little more, then I'll send you a message. I'll probably comment on it and say, like, I need you to put more here. But if you didn't hardly do it at all, then I might email you and say, hey, you're going to be taking your test at this time. This is when it's going to go live. So let's hope because I have the test. I just felt like we might not necessarily need to do it, especially since period 9 isn't even going to be tested. So that brings me to all of the other things that I have to tell you. I have a list here, so let me go according to my list. Okay, first thing, the new grading policy. I've already talked to several of you about it, but I'm sure you saw the news article that the state passed a new law regarding how the grading policies were going to work for underclassmen, and it's not the same as what Guilford County had said like a week or two ago. I guess the state was taking so long to make a decision. The county was like, well, we have to say something. So they made a decision, and then the state finally made a decision, and it wasn't the same decision. So it looks like the state has decided that the PassFail is going to be optional, which is great. In my opinion, I think that's awesome because I know a lot of you would choose the letter grade so that you can get your AP weight. So that is a bonus. However, putting there's 17 of you, and let's say that 10 of you choose PassFail and 10 of you choose the letter grade, or 7 of you choose the letter grade. I don't exactly know how we're supposed to put in PowerSchool like 2 different grading systems. So that is going to take some time for everyone to figure out. So that's one of the reasons why I've been putting off putting things in PowerSchool, because I don't want to put things in PowerSchool and then have to go undo them. So I'm trying to wait until we have a definitive, this is how it's supposed to look from all parties involved, so that I don't have to go back and undo anything and you're constantly seeing changes in your grades. So I can't do anything now until they figure out how that's going to look and what we're supposed to do. But when that happens, I'll let you know. I'm sure Kills will send out an email. You might even get an email from the superintendent from the county or whatever. But for now, don't freak out about anything. Our numeric grade based off of March 13th. Now, if you're taking a letter grade, then you'd be taking your quarter 3 grade and a regular quarter 4 grade. You'd just be doing regular grades if you opt for the letter grade. You won't, if you don't opt for the letter grade, you won't get a numeric grade at all, and it will just say pass fail. So we'll see. I think it would be great, to be able to choose the letter grade, because like I said, I know a lot of you want the GPA weight, plus knowing that it's optional. I'm sure colleges would love to see students with letter grades, students who, in the face of all of these obstacles said, I'm going to make sure that I get my work done to the best of my ability anyway, and I'm going to take the real grade for it. I'm sure that's something that colleges would love to see, and it'd be something great to say in a college essay, like, we were going through all of this, but I still stuck to my guns and I took my grade seriously and I did my work. So, these are all things to think about and things that you would want to, for teachers to say about you. If you have someone doing a college recommendation for you, what you don't, you can't say, give me 100, sorry. But what you want is for, if you ask teachers to do your college recommendations, what you want is for them to be able to say, out of the students in my class, they were one of the ones who took their grade seriously, turned their assignments in on time, even when we were going through all of this. So as I'll re-say it again, if you choose the letter grade, it would be a regular grade. It would be your quarter 3 grade and your quarter 4 grade. It would be everything. So it would just be, regular school. So it would just be a normal grade. So it wouldn't so don't listen to anything that's happening with the seniors, because that has nothing to do with you. Whatever the senior grades are working completely different from your grade. So don't let that confuse you. That has nothing to do with what you guys' grades are going to look like. If you choose a pass-fail, then it's not going to say quarter 3, quarter 4, nothing on your transcript. It's just going to say PC19, I believe. So, if we choose a letter grade, will you put grades in Canvas again? Yeah. I mean, I'm putting, quiz grades and stuff, but that's why I'm waiting on everything. I don't want to, like I said, Canvas stuff. It's not a real show of your grade. So I don't want to, and I don't want to have to put your grades in twice. I've got plenty to do. I don't need to try to put everybody's grades in 2 different places. That's too much. So, like I said, I'm not doing any of that until someone tells me exactly what it's supposed to look like. And when I know exactly what it's supposed to look like, I'll tell you. And I'm sure Ms. Horton or someone will reach out, or maybe you'll have to tell all your teachers like what your choice is going to be. So be thinking about it, what classes you might want to choose as your pass-fail, or what class you might want to choose as a letter grade. But do not ask any teachers about it. Do not start saying what you want to your teachers, because they don't know anything yet. When do we decide what we want to do? I just said, we have no idea how long this is going to take. Could be a week, could be days. Just be thinking about it. I have officially given you every piece of information that I have. So don't ask me about it. Don't pester Dr. Smith about anything, because none of us know anything more than what I've just told you. So don't worry about it. As long as you're doing your work, then realistically, it doesn't really matter that much. You can, in a week, think about it. If anything, I think it's just going to be better for your transcripts. But for the record, several of you are always like, oh, my quarter grade isn't that good. It really doesn't matter. The only grade that shows up on your transcript is your final grade. That is the only grade that colleges see. They don't see your Q3, Q4, E1, S1, S2. They don't see any of that. They just see your final grade that shows up on your transcript. So whatever you made for quarter 3, it's honestly irrelevant either way. Whatever you choose, it's pretty irrelevant as long as it's passing. So, all right. So that's enough about grade stuff. New exam information. Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. New exam information. So I told you that there are a lot of things that Trevor Packard and College Work coming out with all of the time. And I had a APUSH history webinar with Trevor Packard like 2 weeks ago, where he went over more detailed information specifically about our exam and answered a lot of questions and stuff. So there are a few things I want to mention. One is the scoring. But obviously the scoring, passing is still 3, 4, 5. But as far as like what on the 10-point rubric gets you a 3, 4, or a 5, no one knows. Trevor Packard doesn't know. No one has any idea, because the scores have to be given a standard deviation based off of the overall, like everyone's score. So they can't say that a 6 out of 10 gets you a 4. They can't say that right now, because what if no one does better on this exam than a 6 out of 10? Well, then a 6 isn't really that, it's really a 5. It's really the best, right? So, so there's no way of knowing. Or if, so many people get like 9s and 10s on this exam, if it ends up being really easy, and you make a 6, that might not be passing. That might be a 2. So we have no idea what the breakdown and distribution of scores on that rubric is going to be yet. And we won't know until after the exam. We won't really know until the exams have been scored. So that kind of stinks, but it is what it is. There's nothing to do about it. Next is devices. Ms. Horton sent out an email last week, and I sent in the remind that that several of you had filled it out when you got it, which is what you were supposed to do. So good job. But some of you had not filled it out, and so I sent a remind saying get on your email right now and fill it out. So hopefully everyone did. I didn't hear back from Miss Horton, so I don't know if everybody did it or if everybody didn't. But one thing I do know is that the way that the exam is written is that you can take it on any device possible. You can take it on a phone, you can take it on a computer, you can take it on a tablet. However, just for ease of use, obviously, I'm sure that a computer is preferred. So I think at this point, everyone has a laptop, because I've said, and I know all the other teachers have said about 9 billion times, if you don't have a laptop to work on at home, then you should have already gotten one from the school, because we have plenty that we can let you guys borrow while we're doing all of this. But if you don't have one, then God bless America, please contact us so that we can get you one. If we can't get you one, College Board said that they would get you one. They're going to provide devices for everyone. So we have to make sure that everybody has what they need. Plus internet. If you don't necessarily have the most reliable internet connection and you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to, Ms. Horton or someone, if you have questions about that. One thing Trevor Packard did say is that if during the test your internet goes out, like you're doing your exam, internet goes out, all of a sudden you're locked out, test is over, 0. Well, that's okay. That's why they have the makeup day. All you have to do is contact us, and we will, make sure that College Board knows that you're going to be taking it on the makeup exam day. You'll be automatically sent a ticket for the makeup exam day with the test link, and then on exam day the link will go live, and you just click it and you take your exam on the makeup exam day. It will be a different exam, so that would kind of suck that you would have already started on one prompt and series of documents and be thinking about it, and then it won't matter. So I definitely suggest trying to be in a place where you can get the best internet connection so that you can, be as secure as possible. Next thing. Tomorrow, April the 27th, College Board is sending out an at-home test guide. Today's 27th, sorry, April 28th. That's the date they gave. I'm not sure if that's the date that they'll all go out, or if that's the date that they'll go to teachers and then they'll go to students on a different day, or if you'll be getting it tomorrow. You very well could be. If you are getting it tomorrow, then it's going to come with information about how you're actually going to access your exam, how you're going to submit it, the written choice versus the typed choice, and it's even going to have video simulations of how you will do your exam. You have 45 minutes to read the documents, write the essay, and then you have 5 minutes to upload your exam. Now, if you have a slow internet connection and you begin uploading your exam within that 5-minute time period, but it takes, like sometimes I'm uploading your YouTube videos or something, like if it depends on where I am. Like if I'm at a place with a really good internet connection, then it might only take a few minutes to upload. If I'm at my apartment where the internet isn't always flawless, then it could take like 30 minutes to upload. If you're in a situation where it's taking 30 minutes to upload, then it's okay. It's totally fine as long as you start the upload within those 5 minutes that they've given you. If it takes 15 minutes to finally get in there, that's okay. But you just have to start the upload within the 5 minutes. What if it's slow because there's so many people on the site? That won't happen. That's not how broadband works. And they've said a billion times that the company that they're using and the servers that they're using to host the exam are meant to handle traffic, 10 times higher than what they'll see on exam day if every single person even takes the exam. So that should not be a problem at all. So if you get on there and it's not working, it's probably your internet connection at home and not the College Board system. Anything's possible, but that's what they're telling us. Cheating. Okay. So I know I mentioned already, sorry, I'm looking at my list. I mentioned already that College Board said they were going to be, taken very seriously anybody making any efforts to cheat. And obviously cheating is not looking at your notes or Googling when was the War of 1812. If you're Googling that, they probably should be kicking you off of the exam, but nevertheless, that's obviously fine. Looking up and getting information about content's totally fine. You can sit right there with your notes in your lap and your book in your lap and a Google tab open ready to do stuff, which honestly I suggest because there's really no reason to get content wrong in this since you can always double check as far as dates and stuff go. However, spending a lot of time searching through your notes or Googling and looking through links, you only have 45 minutes to write this entire essay. So if you are doing a lot of looking up of information, it's going to be a waste of your time and you're just not going to get your essay done. So, so there's that. But as far as things that are not acceptable, which is getting on the phone with someone or a group FaceTime, let's all write this essay together. What are you saying? What am I saying? What's your magic point? Getting in any type of online chat, your parents sitting down at the table with you and helping you, that is not allowed. Now, there have been questions about how will College Board know? I don't know. And they're not telling us because they don't want you to know ahead of time how they're going to know. It's very big brothery anytime someone asks about it in a webinar. Trevor Packard gets super vague. And what he has said, though, is that if you do try to do those things, you will know very quickly how College Board is finding out because it will lock you out of your test very fast. So, again, don't do that. They will report your scores to they will report your cheating to every college you've ever considered applying to. And our school will report that to every college you've ever considered applying to. It's not worth it. If you don't pass the exam, it doesn't hurt you. So it doesn't matter. I don't know how they're going to know if your parents are in the room. Honestly, I don't know. But he says they will know. I told you, they're the mafia, guys. Don't mess with them. He also said that any attempt to plan cheating ahead of time will also be treated the same way. And they've already caught someone. I also agree, Ashland. I agree. I think it sounds like they're going to be listening or watching, which is super creepy. I don't know how. Beats me, man. I will be very interested to know. So if you find out, when the exam is over, I'm sure I'm gonna want to hear from all of you about what you thought. But that's another thing when you're done with your exam. Someone tell me if you think like what they're doing. I'm sure I'll be trying to like see myself online somehow. Like how are they figuring it out? I don't know. But they have already caught someone. They've already caught someone planning to potentially cheat during the exam. And he got a phone call from College Board investigators, and he was very shocked to get that phone call. He does not know how they caught him, and they won't say how they caught him. So I don't know. Yeah, you don't have a microphone on your computer. Don't you think they would have thought of that? Don't you think they know that not everyone's going to have a microphone and not everyone's going to have a webcam? So that can't be a requirement to take the test. However, the ways that the test security ways are going to be requirements. So I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what he was planning. They didn't say. Trevor Packard didn't say. Are they breaking into our? I don't know. Edward Snowden could work for College Board for all I know. And also, you think just because you don't have a microphone on your computer, that don't matter? Come on. This is America. You should know better. Anyway, so that's cheating stuff. Okay, now test periods. Now, remember I said, and I'm sure you got the email from College Board saying that the exam was only going to cover up to period 7 because that's where they thought people had covered. Well, now they're changing it. Well, no, they're not necessarily changing it. They're being more specific with where the question will come from. Now they're saying that the question is going to come from periods 3 through 7. Periods 1, 2, 8, and 9 can be used for context, comparison, magic point stuff. So the question will come. It will not come from any sooner. The documents won't be any sooner than period 3 or any later than period 7. So that's good. So that lets us know that's definitely the information we need to like hammer in is 3 through 7. But 1, 2, 8, and 9, we still need to have in our brains, because if you can use it for context, or if you can use it as a magic point, or maybe even outside evidence somehow, even better. That's fantastic. Shorter documents. They know that the time is shorter. You don't get that 15-minute reading period that you were previously promised. And they're not breaking it up this time. Normally it's like an hour exam, 45 minutes to write, 15 minutes to read. They're not breaking it up like that. They're just going to give you 45 minutes. And how you allot your own 45 minutes is your business. So that is difficult. I suggest 5 minutes ish to go through those documents. You really shouldn't spend more than 60 seconds on each one. Read it, figure out what it's saying, move on, and then begin writing your essay. Maybe 5 minutes to read, 2 minutes to plan, and then write. So because of that, they're saying that the documents might be a little abridged. This is coming back. They might be a little shorter than they were in the past when you had a full hour. If anything, that's good. You won't have quite as much to read through, which is positive. Okay, so that's it. That's all I have about other exam information. Like I said, as more details come out, I'll let you know if I hear more stuff. Be on the lookout tomorrow for if you get that at-home test information packet. If I get it, standard miss. If I get it, I'll send out the remind that I got it, and to let you know, check your email. But like I said, it might not be going to teachers and students at the same time. If he said, I don't remember, I didn't write it down, I took a lot of notes. So, all right, upcoming assignments for you guys. So, moving out now that we have finished all of our new content, you've took your last bit of notes. I hope you are absolutely thrilled, and I hope you didn't mind the very long notes video that was your last one. To be fair, I normally do that content over several days, but I was trying to squeeze it in as quickly as possible, especially since I knew that the question's not going to be about Hurricane Katrina, but you can use that information as context. It's good to have it in your head, and it's good to have it in your notes and on your review information, but we don't necessarily need to dive super, super deeply into it. It was long, I know, but you've done it now. Of course, it makes sense that the last one would be the longest one we ever did. So now moving forward, I've been doing your modules week by week, and I've been laying out like Monday, you do this, Tuesday, you do this, Wednesday, you do this. It's not going to be like that now that we're moving into review. The module is just going to be like the review, APUSH review module. That's what the module's called. And everyone's kind of going to be working at their own pace. Everyone's going to be doing their own thing. You might be working on someone that someone did a week ago, or you might be redoing something that you did 2 weeks ago. It's all going to be kind of like working itself out. So I'll explain that. Basically, what's going to happen is I'm not going to tell you Monday you do this, Tuesday you do this. It's kind of going to be a rolling like system. I will just be continuously posting new things with dates far enough out, and you will be in charge of monitoring your own self and getting them done on your own. That being said, I'm going to have your DBQs, the 5-doc DBQ that you did. I've been going through those, and I'm the reason why it's taking me so long is because I don't quite exactly. First of all, it's a new rubric, so that I'm learning, but I'm not exactly sure how is best for me to get you your feedback. So because normally I just write it. I can't do that now because it's on a computer. So I'm trying to figure out if I should just type it all in the comments, if I should write it and somehow scan and email you your rubrics. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. DBQ practices on AP Classroom extra credit. No, they're not. So I don't know how I'm going to get that to you yet, but when I do get that to you, the first thing we're going to do is I might have you either on this DBQ or I might have you write a new one and then we'll do it later, but there will be several that I make you rewrite. I might not make you rewrite the whole thing. I might say, I want you to go back and rewrite a thesis. I want you to change your magic point. I want you to rewrite that entire paragraph. I want you to write a whole new opening paragraph. I need you to rework how this document fit into it. I'll give you feedback and then you're going to go back in and you're going to fix it. So because of that, you're not going to move on to the next thing, to the next DBQ until I tell you that your last one was good to go. So, so that's going to be changing. So like if, you might be, that's why you sort of have to like monitor your own self during this. If someone's working on a DBQ about the Civil War, but you finished that one already and you've moved on, worry about yourself. Don't worry about what other people are working on, or they might be on the Civil War one and you're still trying to rewrite the Vietnam one because you can't seem to get contextualization right. That's also fine. Worry about yourself. Make sure that you're doing what you need to be doing. Aside from DBQ practices, we'll be doing all of our content review and stuff, and I'm going to be having you work on some stuff to review content and to create, handy things to have with you. I definitely suggest that you have, your printed hard copy notes. I think that's good. Personal preference, but myself, I think it would be easier for me to, flip through this page, grab this page, and here's what I need to know about whatever. Here's this little cheat sheet I made. Here I go to write my test versus like, I have to, feed through all of these different files on my computer and find what I need. That's going to take a long time. I think having, a hard copy in front of you is going to be way more beneficial. Don't make me redo the DBQ. I promise it's not getting any better. It's going to have to, or you're going to just keep redoing the same DBQ and you're going to go insane. So hopefully they do get better. What's going to go live in the module when this is done is, the first thing that's going to go up is your study guide. So if you remember last semester, you had the study guide that was just for the content we covered up to December. That piece of the study guide is in the file that's on Canvas. If you did that, which almost everybody did, and I gave it back to you, then don't worry, you don't have to redo that. But if you did it and you lost it, or if you did it and you want to redo it as a refresher, which is honestly a very good decision, then it's still there, blank. But if you're on the Word document, starting at page 17, if you're looking at the Google Doc, starting at page 23, that's when it gets into now stuff. That's when it picks up with period 6. So that's a positive. So I'll have that up there as soon as we're done with this. I'll mark that live and you can start working on that. The next thing that's going to be up there is something that says helpful resources. This is not something that you have to fill out, but this is something that I highly, highly suggest that you print out and have with you, not only when you're doing your exam, but as you do your practice DBQs, as you do everything, because there's some good information in there. The things that I have in there are, the first thing is a final key terms, names, and legislation, and cases. So I think it's broken up by period. If I remember correctly, I looked at it last night, and I think that's how I did it last year. But it's names of people you should know. It's just a list, almost like an IDs list. It's just a list of names you should know, legislation, key laws and treaties and such, and then Supreme Court cases that you should know. So you don't have to do them as IDs or anything. What I would do is I would take, paper and just write out quickly what each one of those things are and have them together in their period, so that if the question has to do with the Industrial Revolution, you can whip out, your period 6 or even period 4 packet, and you can see all the names, laws, and Supreme Court cases that you need to know with dates and information. So that'll kind of be like a cheat sheet for you. The next thing is, there's 2 things on the U.S. presidents. One is a list, just a quick list of presidents and their parties. So it's just the number of president, the name, and then what political party they were. It's just literally one page quick list of that. And then there's a more detailed one that says President's Review. That one's a lot longer. And that is each president and then important information about their presidency, the dates that they were president, all stuff like that. That one's pretty long. We got a lot of presidents. So that's another thing to be helpful for. If there is, a speech, if you're looking through your documents and there's a speech from Martin Van Buren and you're like, I don't remember anything about Martin Van Buren, then flip to his presidency. And there you go. There's a cheat sheet right there, ready to roll. The last thing that's there is something that I think will be super helpful for magic point work and paragraphs. It's called topic comparisons. And when you click on that and you open up that document, what you're going to see is content paired with a easy thing to relate it to, because we know that that's an easy way to earn the magic point. The two biggest ways to do it are the opposite of my argument, or this other side of my argument is this, and argue the other point, or relate your argument to another point in time. And so this is basically a cheat sheet of ways to do that. If you're looking, if you look at the cheat sheet, if the question is about the New Deal and you want to relate it to the Great Society, boom, then it tells you right there how they're similar and a way that you can relate them. So that's also super helpful. So like I said, there's nothing that you have to do with any of those. I just suggest that you access all of those, save them, print them out. If you've got a printer at home, go to the library and I don't know, our library's open? Probably not. But try to print them if you can. If your parents are working, maybe they have a printer at work that they can print them off for you. I think having a hard copy of those would be best. But like I said, you don't have to. So those are the things that you're going to find under helpful resources. Next, and I don't know if I'm going to put it up today or if I'm going to put it up tomorrow. I haven't decided if I'm going to give you just some time to start working on your study guide today and start looking through those resources. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably just give you, because I'm not going to bombard you with work during this review period. I want it to be more meaningful than it is, quality over quantity. So that's why I'm not saying like Monday we do this, Tuesday we do this, because it's not necessarily going to be like daily assignments. It's going to be more like you self-pacing. It's something I need to spend 2 days on. This is something I need to spend 1 day on. That doesn't mean they're not going to have due dates that you have to stick to. Obviously, they are going to have due dates that you have to stick to. Some of you have been doing great and turning everything in on time. Some of you have been turning everything in early. There are a couple people that come to mind when I say that. So good job to those of you who know you've been turning things in early. Bravo. But if you, for the record, if you have to choose the letter grade for this course so that you can get that GPA weight, don't pick that and then start and, be a chronic late assignment person, because that's just going to hurt you more. Then you're not going to get the grade you want, and it's definitely going to affect your GPA. So don't do that. Make sure that you're turning all your stuff in. I'm not going to say, you have 2 weeks to do an assignment, because when I know it only takes 2 days. But that being said, if I think it takes 2 days, I might give you 2.5, 2-ish. I'm not going to, rush you. I'm not going to say like, here's 5 things you need to do. They're all due tomorrow. I'm not going to do that. We'll kind of calm down a little bit here now that we're in this like period of review. So over either today or tomorrow, I'll be uploading some 1-pager assignments. You're going to make we already made a 1-pager for period 7. You did that in class. Remember, you turned that in and you also made your 1920s culture 1-pager. So those are, wonderful. But I think you should, or I think you're gonna make a 1-pager for 3, 4, 5, and 6. Especially since that's content that's so far away. 3, 4, and 5 are all things that we did last semester. Remember, 3 is like the revolution and the founding. 4 was like one of the longest periods of all time. That was like all the stuff in the middle, manifest destiny and all that stuff. 5 was like cause of the Civil War and the Civil War. And then 6 was starting with the Gilded Age and a new industry that we did this time. We don't really know how well we're doing. If you're doing your assignments, and I'm not telling you that they're bad, you're doing fine. And like I said, if I'm contacting those of you who are not, and I haven't really had to bug anybody in this class, but if you are constantly hearing from me that you have things that you need to fix, then you're not doing well. If you're not hearing from me, you're doing well. So just think about it like that. But like I said, don't worry about what you're like. You already know if you're turning it in late, you're getting points off. So that's not cool. That's nothing that I need to tell you. You already know that. And those of you who have been turning in stuff late, a lot of you have been good about reaching out to me like, hey, yeah, well is an A. Yep. A or B. I wouldn't, honestly, if you don't think you're gonna make an A or a B in this class, don't take the letter grade. Not worth it. Anyway, so 1-pagers will be helpful. I'm glad that you like those. I like them. They're fun to look at, and it's a good, like, reviewing, it's a good way to review material as you make them. And it's also a good thing to look at. And same as before, you'll be able to write those. I won't require them to be in color now. If you still want to like draw them yourself and handwrite them, that's what I encourage. Writing things by hand increases your retention 1,000,000 times. So I still strongly encourage you to handwrite them, but you don't have to color them because I know not everybody has colors at home. If you do make it on computer paper yourself, you just take a picture and you upload them. And what I also encourage is that when you finish the period 3 one, upload it. When you finish the period 4 one, upload it. Don't wait, to do them all at once. The more you upload, if you are constantly showing me what you're doing, the less I'm going to have to be on your back because I can see like, okay, they're working, they're uploading stuff. That's good. So that we'll make those for 3 through 6. And so that's really going to be our task this week, is starting to get into those review materials and things like that. As I start going through either on Friday or on Monday, I'm going to give you a new DBQ to start working on. So we won't write again until that, because by then I'll be able to get you your feedback on your last one. And it's possible that what I'll need to do is do like, conferences on Big Blue Button and Canvas with you individually, or call you or FaceTime you or something to talk to you about your feedback. So if the way that I give feedback is not great for you and you still have questions, just let me know and say, can we set up a time to talk on the phone or video chat or something about your DBQ, and that will be better. Can you tell us what you think our grade will be before we decide whether or not to take the grade? Honestly, your grade will probably be whatever you made last quarter. If you made an A or a B in quarter 3, you're probably going to make an A or a B again, unless you just quit doing your work. But I don't have a way of knowing that, because you'll probably have to decide, not long after they announce the whole situation, and we won't have finished the semester. So no. Can you tell us our COVID propaganda project grades? I put some of those in. I guess I didn't put them all in, but I think they were all good. They were all A's and B's from what I remember. But yes, I'll double check on those. Okay, review module 4, helpful sources. Okay, that is everything that I had for today. So, does anybody have any final questions? I'll wait a few minutes for you to type them in the live chat. Like I said, what's going to go live after this is I'll put that up. You'll have your weekly check-in. So make sure you read what I wrote for the weekly check-in and answer the question. Everyone answered the weekly check-in last time, so good job. And the study guide will be up. So go ahead and start working on that. You can type it or you can print it out, write on it, and upload that. That will be due closer to the end, but it's long, so you don't want to wait on it. You want to go ahead and get it done. And then later on, I'll post your 1-pager stuff, but also those helpful resources will go live. So I also suggest that be one of the tasks that you do today, is either download all of those, save them, or print them out. I do. So if I didn't receive an email from College Board, what do I do? I already emailed her, but she didn't respond. You didn't receive an email about what? I'm not quite sure what you mean. You didn't receive an email about what? About devices? Because I'm pretty sure that's what Ms. Horton was asking about. I was trying to figure out who has what types of devices and who has internet and stuff. Registration. Oh, that's what it was about. Well, there you go today. It was about registration. But yes, if it's about registration, then she'll get back to you. It's nothing that, it's not life or death. It's not about the AP exam. You're already registered and stuff for the AP exam. If it's about registration, it's about your classes for next semester. So she's probably, sifting through all of that. I'm sure she has like 5 billion emails that she has to go through. I don't envy her. She has a hard job. So, I don't know. If you've already emailed her, call it good. If you want, you can always call school. And Miss Marshall can tell you to, she can tell Miss Horton to call you. Also, Miss Horton typically goes to school every day or every other day for a couple of hours. She's usually in the building. So you could even get in touch with her then. So is everyone already registered for the exam? Yes, you registered last semester. You're already registered for the exam. I thought we were supposed to register for the AP exam. You already did that. It was a confirmation. Okay, cool. You're done. If you're in AP Classroom, which all of you are, you're registered for the exam. That's it. You're good to go. So, but you do need to make sure that the email that College Board has on file is a good email for you, because that's where I'm pretty sure they're going to be sending you your exam ticket, which is where the link for you to do your thing is. Also, the exam's at 2, but you need to be logging on at 1, because the pre-questions that they have you answer are not factored into that time. So like the questions that you have to answer for them to record your keystrokes or your handwriting so they can make sure that it's you taking the exam, that stuff you have to do before the exam, and they're not saying like what time you have to start it. So you could start it at like 1 o'clock, get it done, and then wait a little bit until your exam starts. But what you don't want is to like log on at 1:45 and it takes you more than 15 minutes and now you're eating into your exam time, because it doesn't matter what time you open the link, the exam starts at 2. Your time starts at 2 o'clock. So, so you better click that link at 2 o'clock, and that you have to answer those questions before. So make sure you are, but like I said, that's all going to come out in the exam at home test packet or whatever they said they were going to be sending out tomorrow. Like I said, if I get that tomorrow, I'll let you know. If you haven't heard from me and you see it in your email, let me know. What day is the exam again? The 15th. Let me double check that. Let me look at my calendar. Yeah, the 15th, Friday. So not this Friday, not next Friday, but the next Friday. If the corona never happened, the real exam would be next Friday, but they pushed it back a week. We're going to go over how we log on and etc. That's all going to be in your at-home test packet, but absolutely, I will, before, we'll do more of these Q&As and stuff. And before the test, I'll go over that myself, and I'll make sure you're reading the test packet correctly and that you get that. So don't worry. Don't be stressing too much about the logistics of how to log on and how to submit your test, because, we'll make sure, and College Board's going to make sure that you know what you're doing. It'll be okay. Any other questions? Anything else? All right, cool. Don't forget to log on right after this. Go ahead and do your weekly check-in. And you don't necessarily have to do your work and everything today. Like I said, that I'm going to be giving you sort of like a revolving door of due dates. But the way to succeed here is going to be to really pace yourself. I know that these last few weeks haven't been easy. They've really sucked. I've hated them every bit as much as you have, I promise. But now we have 3 weeks to do as much as we can to make sure that we can pass this exam. So, and I promise that if you take that exam and you get that college credit, and if you're, majoring something where you need history and you can skip a class and place higher, or if you're majoring something to where you don't need history and this is the last one you ever have to take, you're going to be glad that you busted your butt for 3 weeks and that you got it done. Plus, it's also going to save you a few grand in college course tuition. Instead of taking another history class for the 5 billionth time, you can take snowboarding. It's a lot more fun. I took that in college. Do that. I'd rather do that than take a class you've already taken, right? So you want to do well in the exam. As always, let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you can't access something. Let me know if you're sick and for some reason you can't do something, just so I know what's going on. Let me know if you need to turn in something late because something's going on. Always communicate with me, because that's what's going to help me keep you in mind and do what's best for you. If I don't hear from you and you're not doing your stuff, then I just think you're just laying around watching Tiger King 100 times and not getting your work done, and then that's going to be an issue. So communicate with me. Let me know if you have any questions. I would walk by college classes on the way home sometimes, and they were always learning the exact same thing we were. Exactly. You don't want to have to do that. You don't want to have to take American history for the 5 billionth time. Okay, so if you can pass this exam, that won't be an issue for you. So, we work our butts off for 3 weeks and it's all going to work out. And then it's going to be summer and you're going to have 2 months of hanging out, and who knows what next year is going to look like. That is another thing I do want to say. This online stuff isn't great, but you got to find a way to make it work, because something's telling me that this won't be the last time we do this. No one said anything to me. I'm just, the way that the, graphs are looking, this won't be the last time that you ever have to do some online classes, probably even for high school. So make sure that you figure out how to pace yourself and monitor yourself and, find what system works for you to get that done. I'm signing off. Get on Canvas. I don't necessarily know, no one's dropping out. If you were going to do that, you'd have done it already. Plus, I know all y'all's parents would kill you. So, have you seen The Coronavirus Explained on Netflix? Yes, and I would recommend watching it. It's pretty interesting. All of those explained episodes are really good. That's good stuff. All right. Get on Canvas. I'm going to do the same thing right now. I'm going to mark your module for today live, so that you can go ahead and download your study guide and those helpful resources and start working on those. Otherwise, have a good day. Work on some AP Lang too. You got that exam coming up. Don't forget about that.